Alright guys, it's me again. Hopefully this sounds a little better. Plug my headset in. Alright, this video, what are we going to do it on? Let's do it on Drachmas. It's these little gold coins up here. You get a lot to start the game. They do that on purpose to get you to want them and want to be able to boost your stuff and revive units and all that other stuff. Revive a wall or a tower while we wait. Okay, so I'm sure many of you know how to get them, but in case you don't, I'm going to go up to your bank up here. And normally that'll pull you out of full screen, but I guess it didn't. And then you're going to pick what you want. You know, you get 62,500 if you spend $330, or you can get as little as $300 for $1.99. You know, how much you buy really just depends on how much you can afford. But buying more is always going to be better because you get your bonuses and stuff like you can see over here. Personally, if I have the money for it, I'm always going to go for the $330 option because I'm a douchebag and I like spending a lot of drachmas for no reason. But, you know, every once in a while, if in between paychecks or don't have, you know, enough money to buy that, I'll hit up one of these smaller ones, won't get a bonus, but I'll still have enough to do something, no matter how small. So you'll hit purchase, you'll type in your credit card info and hit, yeah, whatever. That's on you. I don't know your credit card. Anyway, the most effective thing to do with drachmas, in my opinion, and I'm sure many other people will agree with me, is to boost your resource production by 25%. It costs 375 drachmas per resource. This is very good, especially once you get to a point where buying resources is not effective, and I will get to that later. But if you can, if you have the money for it, keep all three of them boosted all the time, unless you have, you know, way too much grain. You have no units for whatever odd reason, and you just have ridiculous grain production, and you just don't need extra grain. I don't think that'll happen to any of you right now, but later in the game, that's a very good possibility. So let's go in here to the market, see what all we can get. Doesn't look like it wants to load. But anyway, you can get all your units here, your offensive, defensive. If you're going to buy units from a pure money to offensive or defensive point standpoint, the most efficient use of your drachmas is always going to be to either buy your Drachma horsemen or your mounted peltasts. They're just point for point the most effective use when you're buying units. That being said, I personally don't really like buying units. It's very expensive. For instance, it is 9,960 drachmas to buy 60 of the horsemen. That is the equivalent, I believe, of just over $50. We'll double check here. Yeah, it's like 60 bucks. That's a lot of money for, you know, only 60 units. You can do a lot with that, but at the same time, once you start getting to higher levels and stuff, it's not really that worth it. Other than that, you can go here to your city, and under the city, you can buy one of each tower. If you have your level 2 towers and walls and stuff upgraded, it'll let you get a level 3. If you have your level 3 stuff upgraded, you can get a level 4, but just one. So if you have extra drachmas, it's good to get, you know, one of that higher level tower. The towers and walls and whatnot, they add to your city defense bonus. It can be a lot, especially late in the game when you get your level 5 defenses. That'll help you fend off a lot of raids. But at that point, once people see that your city is surrounded by high-level walls, they probably won't even bother. So, you know, it's a win-win, really, if you want to spend that kind of money. I personally, you can see, I have all of my walls and stuff. I have the maximum amount of towers, which is 17. And then I have my one tower of the level up. one really neat thing you can do is once you upgrade to the next level, you can click on this over here. You just click on one of your walls or towers, and you can click upgrade. And then, of course, it's not going to let me because it wants me to sign an agreement. But you can then upgrade all of them at the same time. It's pretty cool. You couldn't do that in games before that I know of. I know you definitely couldn't do it in Stormfall. Anyway, I gotta speed this up because YouTube is gonna, tell me my video has to be 10 minutes or less. Resources. At a low level, this is effective. My suggestion is to always buy grain, especially now. Later in the game, this might not be the case, but right now you can buy grain, which is half the price of the other resources for the same amount of resources, for 10,000 resources, or, the amount that you can actually buy varies based on your granary and warehouse levels, but it doesn't matter. It's always the same concept. Grain's going to be half the price of everything else. What you do is you buy that grain, put it on the market, and exchange it for, 1-to-1, 2-to-1 if you're lucky, of another resource. It's always cheapest to buy grain, especially right now. Next, we get your articles. I personally buy 1 article a day if I can afford it. This speeds up your agreements, helps you get new units faster, new buildings faster, that kind of thing. Last, we have the healer. If you're going to buy units, this is the most effective way to do it. As you can see, I've already purchased back all of my high-level units. All of my Ajima horsemen I have bought back. They are very expensive still, but it's half the price. Everything that you revive is always going to be half the price of the unit cost back here. The other thing you can do with Drachmas, you can boost building production, especially once you get up to stuff like this. 830, not really worth it. That's a couple bucks just to, instead of waiting a couple hours. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. I always do. But I hope this helped you guys.